Hello and welcome to the next video tutorial of this series. In this video tutorial, we are going to talk about some advanced concept in loops. Also, we will do some practice on that. So now let's look into it. So what we are going to look into this video tutorial is we have a function range over here. So how we have different methods to use a range function. Second, we will talk about nested for loop. Similarly, we will talk about nested while loops. So first of all, we are going to start from our range function which is available. So for that, we'll write a for loop over here, and the syntax of for loop you already aware with that. For x in, and now we'll write a range over here, and this range method takes three parameters. The first parameter is start, end, and increment. So first of all, we will start only two parameters, which is start and end. Now what we are trying to do is we'll try to display our value x over here. So in this, what will happen, I am giving a start value as 0 and end value as 10. So now if I try to run this file, it will display a number from 0 to 10, because range function starts whatever the value is has been specified over here, and the values is specified over here as an end value. So the value from starts to end starts assigning to variable x over here. So if I run this file, so you can see the output that we got an value from 0, we got an output from 0 to 9. So that means the value of x started from 0 and reaches till 10. So this end value is explicit, means exclusive. That means we are not including this as per our output, but the value, the starting index, is inclusive. So that's why 0 was an output and we got 9 as an output, but we did not get 10 as an output. So what is happening over here, if we are not specifying an increment value here, that so the value is being incremented by 1. So that's why we got 0 1 2 3 4 5 till 9. That means we have a difference of 1 in between all the elements. So what happens if I write 1 over here? So again we will get the same output. That means I am externally defining a increment value 1 over here. But if let's see, if I run this file, what will be the output? And I can see that we got again the same output, which is 0 1 2 3 4 5 till 9. That means we have defined an incremented value as 1 over here. Like second, if I define an incremented value 2, so definitely we will get an output 0 2 4 like this. So we got an output 0 2 4 6 and 8. So this is the use of range function, that we can define a set of range, or a range between an starting index until to an end index, and we can also define an incremented value. So in this scenario, let me define an increment value as 3 and an increment value 20 and end index as 20. So if I run this file, you can see the output as 0 3 6 9 12 15 18. So we got an output from 0 till 20 and the incremented value as 3. So this was the use of range function. If you have any doubt, you can write into the comment section. So now we are moving to next point. The next point is nested for loop. So how do we declare a nested for loop? First of all, we'll talk about that. So in that case, I am taking an example of list. So suppose I have a list of fruits. I have taken apple, orange, and the third fruit as an banana. Similarly, I am taking uh, a second list, and second list name is colors, and inside colors I will specify the color of I'll specify different colors over here. Yellow I have defined, red I have defined, and the third thing I am taking as any color, white I have taken a color. So now we'll see how we can specify how we write a nested for loop. So we know that if we have to write a for loop over fruit list, so what we'll do, we'll write a for keyword x as a variable, we'll write in keyword, and after that we specify our list. So we have a list fruits over here. Now if I try to print it, the value of x, so we'll get the output as apple, orange, banana. So you can see the output over here. So but I want to specify a nested loop over here. That nested loop can have two nested means a for loop inside a for loop, that calls a nested for loop. So again in this case I want to write a nested for loop on colors. So I'll take a variable y over here and I'll define similarly colors list, and then I'll try to display the value of x comma y. So that means we have a for loop over here, and this for loops belongs to one other for loops. That means we have a nested for loop over here. Now if I run this file, let's see what will be the output. So you can see the output. We got an output as apple yellow, apple red, apple white, similarly orange, yellow, red, white, and banana yellow, red, white. So this is the use of nested for loop. That means whenever you want to operate or you want to perform a certain task on all the, so in this case what I am trying to do is I want to specify fruit as apple, and similarly I want to define all the colors corresponding to apple here over here. So in this case the output will be apple yellow, apple red, apple white, similarly orange yellow, orange red, and orange white. And for banana, banana yellow, banana red, similarly banana white. So this is the use of for a nested for loop. Similarly if you have any other for loop as well, so again you can define it like this, and you can define, suppose I am defining a range over here, and the range is I am taking 0 to 5 with an increment value of 2. So again you can define it over here. So again if I run the, before I run this file, I have to do is like this and like this. So again if I run this file, so let's see the output, and you can see the output over here. So we got all the elements of all three lists, I mean two lists, and the value of this range over here. So this is the way how we can define nested for loop. Similarly if we have to define a while loop over here, so let's see how we can define a while loop, nested while loops. So if you have idea from our last video tutorial, so the syntax of while is the keyword while, after that we specify a condition, and let me define a condition x over here, and while x is greater than, while x is less than 5, and before that I will define a variable x over here, and the variable x value I'll give it as 0. Similarly I will define a variable y and the value is 0, and this is the syntax of while loop. So earlier what we were doing is, this is the normal while loop, so I try to display x over here, and before that we will increment the value of x with 1. So if I run this file, we can see the output as 0 1 2 3 4 5. We got an output. So this is a normal while loop, but what we, if we want to apply a nested while loop over here, so in that scenario again we have to write while over here, and I'll define a variable. Again I'll define this condition as y less than 5, and inside that we will write our condition. So we are trying to increment the value of x. Similarly we will increment the value of y as well with 1. So here I'll display x and y both. Let's see the output. If I run this file, you can see the output as 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5. So this is the way how we use while loop. And this is the block of the first while loop. If I try to do it like this. So that means we are incrementing the value of y every time, but we are not incrementing the value of x. But once this while loop finish, then we are incrementing the value of x. So again, let's run this file and let's see the output. So you can see the output as 0 1 because we are not incrementing the value x over here. So every time it is displaying the value of x as 0. So I'll do it as Ctrl Z. So this is the way how we apply a nested for loop and nested while loop. If you have any doubt in nested for loop, nested while loop, and in range function, you can write it into the comment section. I'll explain it into the next video tutorial. Thank you.